The shift didn't start with a customer complaint. It didn't start with a late driver. And it didn't start with the oven falling behind. It started with a message. One sentence from Renee, Kasey's supervisor, sitting on Kasey's phone screen before the dinner rush had even found its voice.
We need to review last weekend's labor and wait time notes tonight. Please make sure your shift log is accurate.
That was all. No anger, no threat. Just a clean request for accountability. But Kasey read it like a warning. Last weekend's labor. Wait time notes. Shift log accurate. Each phrase landed in the place inside her that did not hear.
Bring me the facts.
It heard.
You are about to be exposed.
Across Anchor and Ember Pizza, the team was settling in. Marisol checked dough trays. Derrick reviewed carry-out orders. Luis stacked boxes near the oven. Jaden restocked sauce cups without being asked. That mattered because last shift Kasey had learned that her tone could make questions feel unsafe. Tonight, she was trying. She said hello, checked in with Marisol, asked Luis how the oven looked, and told Jaden,
"Good start."
Small things, real things. But growth does not mean the old reaction disappears. Kasey slipped the phone into her pocket, and the message stayed on her shoulders, in her jaw, and in the defense her mind started building before anyone had accused her. At 5:12, the first pressure arrived. 3 carry-out orders dropped close together. A delivery came in with wings, breadsticks, and extra sauce. A counter customer wanted to change toppings on a pizza already past the make line. Normal pressure, not easy, but normal. Derrick looked over the line and called,
"Case, we're low on grilled chicken. I've got enough for maybe 3 more orders."
She looked up too quickly, her face tightening before she answered.
It was supposed to be ready before 4.
Derrick did not argue.
I know. I'm telling you what we have now.
That sentence was useful. It gave Kasey information early, while the problem was still small enough to manage. But because she was already carrying Renee's message, she heard,
Something is wrong, and it's on you.
That is how defensiveness begins to distort a shift. A warning sounds like blame. A teammate bringing reality starts to feel like someone questioning your ability. Kasey walked to the cooler, checked the bin, and closed the door harder than she needed to.
Who was on prep?
Marisol answered from the dough table.
Chicken was on my list. I shifted Jaden to front stock because setup was behind. I missed it.
No excuse, no blame. Marisol owned the miss cleanly. But Kasey was not clean inside the moment. She looked at the low chicken, then at the screen, then back at the team.
So now we're behind before the rush even starts.
The words were not completely wrong. That was what made them dangerous. The team was behind on one prep item, but Kasey's tone turned a solvable issue into a warning shot. Jaden looked up, Luis went quiet, and Derrick stayed with the tickets. Nobody stopped working, nobody argued. That is the quiet danger. When defensiveness enters the room, truth does not always push back. Sometimes truth just gets smaller. At 5:34, Renee walked in. She did not come in loud. She did not scan the room like she was hunting for a mistake. She looked at the screen, the counter, the oven station, the make line, and then at Kasey.
Hey, Kasey.
Kasey wiped her hands on a towel.
Hey,
Renee glanced at the prep container.
you jumping in on chicken?
Kasey answered too quickly.
We were short.
Renee nodded.
Okay, what happened?
3 words, clean words. A supervisor's question meant to understand the decision path. But Kasey felt it like a verdict.
We had people pulled in different directions.
She said.
Setup wasn't where it needed to be. I'm fixing it.
Renee did not move past the answer.
Who made the call to shift prep?
Marisol looked toward Kasey, not to blame her, but to see how she wanted to handle the truth. That glance landed wrong. Kasey felt heat rise in her chest.
I'm the manager tonight, so I'll own it.
The words sounded responsible, but the tone sounded wounded. Renee stepped closer and lowered her voice.
I'm not asking who to blame. I'm asking how the decision got made.
Kasey nodded, tight.
Okay.
Behind them, the shift kept moving, but Kasey's attention narrowed around Renee's question. Kasey said,
We were behind on setup. Jaden helped with front stock. I didn't catch the chicken until Derrick called it out.
Renee nodded.
That's clear. Put that in the shift log, not as an excuse, as a pattern to watch.
Pattern. A mistake can feel like something you did. A pattern can feel like who you are becoming. And Kasey was still new enough in leadership that she sometimes confused being corrected with being rejected. The screen filled again at 5:42. 2 large carryouts, one-time order for 6, 1 delivery with special instructions. Derrick looked at the screen, then at the prep container, then back toward Kasey.
Kasey, I need a decision. Do you want Marisol online or finishing prep?
It was a clean question, a useful question, the kind of question a strong shift needs early. But Kasey was still stuck on Renee's word, pattern.
Why is everyone asking me that like I don't know what I'm doing?
The room tightened, not loudly, not dramatically, but clearly enough that everyone felt it. Derrick's face changed for half a second, not anger, more like the disappointment of someone who brought information and watched it get treated like disrespect. He said,
I'm asking because we need to know where to put people.
Kasey looked away. That was the moment the truth went quiet. Because the room had been taught, even for a moment, that a clean question could cost too much. Renee did not step in right away. She let the silence do what silence sometimes does best. She let Kasey hear herself. Kasey heard the sentence again in her own mind.
Why is everyone asking me that like I don't know what I'm doing?
That sentence had nothing to do with Derrick's question. It came from the place inside her that believed accountability meant exposure, and exposure meant danger. She took one breath, then another, then looked at Derrick.
You're right. That was a fair question.
Derrick nodded once, not warm yet, but still there. Kasey looked at the screen and made the call.
Marisol, jump online with Derrick for the next 15. I'll finish enough chicken to cover the next few orders. Jaden stays front until the counter clears. Luis, call out any chicken order before it hits oven so we don't get surprised.
Luis answered.
Got it.
Marisol moved to the line. Derrick reset the rhythm. Jaden went back to the customer. The decision was not perfect, but it came from leadership instead of defense. Still, the team had learned that some questions might need to be softened before they were spoken. The rush gave them a small opening around 6:20. Not a break, a window. Renee nodded toward the back hallway.
Kasey, give me 2 minutes.
Kasey's stomach dropped. The old internal signal came back.
I am in trouble.
Renee leaned against the side counter, arms relaxed, voice even.
What happened with Derrick?
Kasey looked down.
I overreacted.
Renee nodded.
To what?
Kasey almost said,
To the pressure.
true, but incomplete. She almost said,
To being short on prep.
also true, also incomplete. Then she thought about the text, the shift log, the labor, the wait times, and the word pattern. She swallowed.
I reacted to feeling judged.
Renee let the answer sit.
That is more honest.
Kasey nodded, eyes shiny now. Renee noticed, but she did not soften the truth to make the discomfort disappear.
Accountability is not always judgment.
Renee said.
Sometimes it is just the mirror. But if every mirror feels like an attack, you will keep fighting the people trying to help you see.
Kasey looked away.
I know.
Renee shook her head gently.
I need more than I know. Derrick asked for a staffing decision, and you heard criticism. Marisol owned a prep miss, and you heard failure. Jaden is trying to ask better questions, but if he watches questions get punished, he is going to stop bringing them early.
Kasey looked toward the front. Everyone was still doing the job, but now she could see the quieter layer. Derrick's shorter answers, Jaden's careful timing, Luis holding back. Renee said,
When a leader takes accountability personally, the team starts protecting the leader from reality. And once they do that, problems stop arriving early. They arrive late, bigger, and harder to repair.
Kasey wiped under one eye quickly.
I don't want them walking on eggshells around me.
Renee nodded.
Then you have to stop making accountability feel like broken glass.
Brene Brown's work helps separate shame from responsibility. Shame says, if I made a mistake, maybe I am the mistake. Responsibility says, I need to look at what happened. Kasey was not weak because accountability stung, but leadership was asking her to become responsible for what happened after the sting. When Kasey came back to the floor, nothing had paused for her lesson. The screen still had orders. The oven still had heat. Customers still watched the pickup rack like it owed them an explanation. Kasey stood near the manager's station for 1 second longer than usual, not frozen, choosing. Because there is a space between reaction and leadership. Sometimes it is only one breath wide, but it is there. She stepped toward the line.
Derrick,
He looked up. Kasey kept her voice steady.
earlier you asked me a clean question. I heard it like criticism. That was on me. Keep asking what you need to ask.
Derrick did not smile right away. That made it more real. He just nodded.
Okay.
Then, after half a beat, he tested the bridge.
We need a call on the timed order. Start it now or hold 5.
There it was, information trying to move again. Kasey looked at the screen, then at the oven load.
Start it now. If we hold it, we'll lose oven space when the next wave hits.
Derrick nodded.
Starting it.
No speech, no applause. Just the room getting permission to function again. Then Kasey looked toward Jaden.
You good up front?
Jaden glanced at the counter, then back at her.
Mostly, I need help with what to say when the screen says ready, but the order isn't on the rack.
That was the sound of truth returning. A small question he could have swallowed. Kasey nodded.
Say, I'm checking the final step now. I'll give you an honest update in 1 minute. Don't guess. Don't promise what we don't know.
Jaden repeated it quietly.
Honest update in 1 minute.
Kasey nodded once.
Good.
That was leadership returning to the floor, not as control, as clarity. Near the end of the shift, Renee stood beside Kasey at the manager station with the wait time report. Kasey looked at the red marks. 2 from last weekend, 1 from tonight. The old urge rose again, explain, defend, make sure Renee knew she was trying. But Kasey looked at the floor first. Jaden giving a customer an honest update. Derrick calling decisions early. Marisol checking prep without waiting to be asked. Luis announcing chicken orders before they became surprises. Information was moving, so Kasey let it move through her too. She picked up the pen and wrote in the shift log,
Entered rush short on grilled chicken after prep priorities shifted to front setup. Team recovered by moving Marisol to line, manager covering immediate prep gap, and Luis calling chicken orders early from oven. Pattern to watch. Solving one pressure point created another pressure point later.
Renee read it, then looked at Kasey.
That is useful.
Kasey almost smiled, not because the note made her look perfect, because it made the shift clearer. Maybe accountability was not there to take the keys from her. Maybe accountability was there to help her carry them better. A lot of young leaders think accountability is the moment someone questions whether they are good enough. But real accountability protects the work, protects the team, and reveals the patterns that pressure tries to hide. That night, when Renee asked clean questions, Kasey almost turned accountability into accusation. What she brought into the shift was a fear of being seen as not ready. And fear, when it is not managed, will ask the team to prove loyalty by avoiding the truth. So Kasey had to learn the next rule. What you bring into a shift does not only affect your tone, it affects what information people feel safe enough to bring back to you. If you bring defensiveness, the team brings less truth. If you bring shame, the team brings fewer questions. Kasey was not finished learning, not even close. There were still harder shifts ahead. But tonight, she learned something important. Accountability is not the enemy of leadership. Avoiding accountability is. The mirror is not there to break you. It is there to show you what the team may already feel. That night at Anchor Ember Pizza, Kasey did not become perfect. She became more available to the truth. Because what you bring into a shift stays there until you learn how to face it before the team has to feel it.